This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I am here with Peak Home Inspections. Since 1997, they have been providing you with the information you need to make informed decisions on a potential purchase. I am here with the owner. Dylan, thanks for joining us here today. Let's begin a little bit with yourself. Share with me a little bit how you got involved in this particular industry.
Well, my background is construction, so I'm a carpenter by trade. But I got into construction management about 10 years ago, became a superintendent for a commercial construction company, and I feel like that was kind of what gave me a broad overview of the entire industry. I had to run jobs from start to finish and understand codes and how everything works together. So home inspection was a perfect fit when I decided to stop doing management and I wanted to get into something else and own my own business. Home inspection was a perfect fit.
Wonderful. Let me ask you this. Obviously, as Americans, one of the largest investments we usually make is our home or a real estate investment. Why is it that consumers are starting to understand that really on that checklist should be a home inspection?
Well, in my opinion, home inspectors, we're trained. We know the construction field. We know the industry. We know the codes. We know the way things should fit together. A lot of homeowners know a lot of stuff about construction, but if you've never worked in depth, you may miss something that is obvious to us.
Let me ask you this. Speaking of missing something, obviously this is a happy time. You're looking for a home. It can be rather overwhelming, though, because of the fact that you're looking at where the school's located. You're looking at room layout, cosmetics. Pretty easy to overlook some of the major areas. Is that really where you come into play?
That's where I think we come into play. We take a broad overview of the house. We look at the entire thing. We're not looking at the room layout. We're not looking for where to put the couch. We're looking at, does the window open and close correctly? Is there a structural issue? Is the electrical done up to code? Is it safe for you and your family?
Really, as a homeowner, we're out there, we get emotional about this purchase. Many times we don't even want to find a problem. I mean, we fall in love with the property. We're like, I don't want to find anything. But quite honestly, you're in a better position once you know something like this. And also, can it make a good negotiating tool for you?
Absolutely. And that's, I think, the best way to look at a home inspection. We're not there to pick apart a house. And it's not my attempt to break people's or ruin people's dreams when it comes to the house that they've been thinking about for the last 2 weeks, you know? My job is to give you a realistic overview of the house. This is what I think needs to be fixed now. These are things that need to be fixed later, and give you a better sense of what you're getting into.
Interesting. I mean, obviously for myself, it seems like a no-brainer when a person's out there buying an older home. But quite honestly, that's not the case. And we're talking about home inspections for older homes or even brand new homes. Is that right?
Absolutely. We do framing walks on brand new construction, actually, as well. The case in point, we had a roof. I had a roof about a month and a half ago. I got up on the roof. The roof had just been reinstalled 2 months prior. And it was shot. It was major hail damage, and it needed to be replaced again. If you'd looked at regional building and seen that, oh, the roof is brand new, it was just put on 3 months ago, you're thinking it's fine. I get up there, I'm the one that gets to walk on the roof, so you don't have to. And I show you what needs to be fixed and why I think it's damaged.
Fantastic. Can an inspection really give you a legal means out of a contract if something is found and is not remedied?
As far as I understand from most contracts, the home inspection is one of the last outs that a buyer has before they lose their earnest money. So while you're buying a house, you put down X amount of earnest money to basically secure your spot, to have your contract looked at more seriously. Home inspection is one of the last times you get a free out, and you could get that money back. So in that way, we could save.
Fantastic. Let me ask you, how many days do we have before we actually make an offer or sign that contract to find an inspector?
I think that's kind of changes depending on the contract. I hear quite often once contracts get accepted, they have up to 10 days, perhaps it could be 2 weeks, it could be 5 days. It really is dependent on the listing agent and the buyer agent coming together and deciding the terms of the contract.
Interesting. You mentioned before, we're not looking at where the sofa should be laid out. You're not even looking at cosmetic repairs, really. That's something that that an owner can walk through and point out for themselves. We're talking about hidden areas. We're talking about making this home safe and livable. What are some of those areas?
Well, the things that I see quite often are improperly wired outlets. We use outlet testers on all the outlets in the house. Homeowners will replace certain things, and I'm not trying to pick on a homeowner for wanting to fix up their own house, but if you don't know exactly what you're doing, you can make simple mistakes that could be potentially safety hazards. So there's outlets, there's roofs are big ones. A roof is a big investment. Insuring a house with a damaged roof is very hard. Having someone walk on that roof that knows how roofs are installed is very important. So everywhere from the roof, is the furnace in good shape? Does it need cleaned? Is it malfunctioning? How old is the water heater? The water heater may be still working, but it may be well past its life expectancy. So educating my buyers about that and saying, hey, here's an upcoming cost you may have to face within the first year of owning the house.
Speaking of the folks that maybe have bought a brand new home out there, they didn't get an inspection on it. 2020 is hindsight is what a lot of people are dealing with. What if they now want to get an inspection? Why is it important for them to get that done before that warranty wears out?
Well, absolutely. We do quite a few warranty inspections. Again, you've lived in the house for a year. So you've lived in the house for maybe 11 months, say, and you're almost to that warranty point. You know the small things that bother you. You know where the tile's cracked. You know where the small cosmetic issues are. But giving us a chance to go in there and take a look at it could unearth bigger issues. Simple one that a lot of builders miss is, did they paint the bottoms and tops of doors? If you don't paint the bottoms and tops of doors, it voids the warranty of the door. So if just small things like that, some people don't know about, I do, or home inspectors do. So having us take a look at it could potentially save you.
Fantastic. And so obviously the consumer out there, they sleep better at night. We're talking about a pretty lengthy report here. We're not talking about a couple pages. This is emailed over to them. Quite a bit covered in there.
Yes. For a regular, let's just say a 2,000 square foot house, one furnace, one water heater, our reports are generally around 35 to 40 pages with pictures. And those reports can vary, but you should get a report with 20 to 40 pages and with pictures and everything like that.
Interesting. Hopefully we were educating the viewers out there how important it is to get a home inspection, especially a large purchase like that. But even more so important is actually finding the right professional. What should consumers look for when they're out shopping for a professional like yourself?
Absolutely. I get a lot of questions about what does Colorado require? Colorado does not require home inspectors to be licensed. So what you want to find is someone who has been vetted by an association or is certified by an association. There are 3 reputable associations. I happen to belong to the American Society of Home Inspectors, commonly referred to as ASHI. So what's required of me to join and be certified by ASHI is I have to pass the National Home Inspectors exam. That's a proctored exam that all states that require licensing require home inspectors to pass that. So I had to pass that. You have to have your report looked at by the association so that they can see what you're looking at, make sure that you're following their standards of practice. Getting that certification can give people a peace of mind that we actually do know what we're talking about. We have passed courses. We have been looked at closely by an association and deemed worthy. So I would definitely recommend any homeowner look into associations that certify home inspectors and make sure you have someone that is certified.
So you're talking about somebody, more than somebody that just has a business card, is out inspecting homes, somebody that's really doing an in-depth, like you say, 2-3 hour inspection, somebody that's unbiased, not out there just looking for local contracts for a local contractor.
Exactly, and that's a good point that you bring up. All three of the associations that I know, including mine, the American Society of Home Inspectors, do not allow us to do work for you. So so that we can be that unbiased third-party opinion. That's what you want. You don't want someone saying, "I think your roof looks like hail damage, and by the way, I can fix it for you, and here's my roofing business card."
A little hidden agenda right there you got to watch out for. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is his website. On the website, first of all, you're going to take a look at all the different types of inspections he can provide for you. We're talking about warranty inspections, talking about older homes, and quite a few other things to make sure that you've got a safe, livable environment. Take a look at the testimonials on there as well. They provide a newsletter that comes out monthly, give you some good home tips as well. I mean, so far, Dylan, we've spoke a lot about people who are buying their homes. Why is it important for maybe somebody who's selling their home to take a proactive approach and get an inspection as well?
Well, for example, if you have a house that's 20 years old, chances are there's going to be things in it that could need replaced or could need repaired. Having a pre-listing inspection, having that done ahead of time, will really save you as a seller that negotiation. For example, if I come up and I find for a buyer 20 items, and that buyer asks you to do all 20 items, that could be overwhelming. But if you're thinking about selling your house and you have a pre-listing inspection, you would already have those 20 items, and you'd get a chance to slowly do them over time at your leisure. It's not within 2 weeks of closing that you're then required to run around and fix all these things. So I would highly recommend having a pre-listing inspection.
Not only that, but the buyer can make a quicker decision as well based on what you've already done.
Absolutely. And we have had that happen where we've had buyers call us because they've seen a pre-listing inspection and they just want to talk to us and say, "I understand the seller paid you for this. Can we go over it?" And we have no problem talking.
So really, you're helping provide a healthy home for folks out there, be it the air or the water. We're talking about radon testing or even well testing is something you provide as well.
The radon testing, absolutely, and we do provide a well water bacteria test.
Excellent. Let me ask you, quite honestly, the only time the money pit, finding yourself in a money pit is funny is probably in the movies and not in real life. Share with me one last story that basically is a favorite of yours that you've been able to help someone.
Well, I've been to houses. For example, I walked into a basement this is about a year ago, and I walked in, and this house was probably about 7 years old. And I saw a little knee wall, a little stem wall on the foundation wall, and it was leaning quite a bit. And I said, so I looked around, I said, okay, I see that lean. So I walked outside and I saw more lean. Now I looked around and I saw other houses in the same neighborhood that had the same thing. And so I thought, okay, well, could this have been a builder's, could he have done something? Well, turns out, I looked more closely and I said, I don't think this looks right. This looks like it could be a problem. So I recommended a structural engineer take a look at the house. And sure enough, it had about $16,000 worth of structural repairs that were necessary on a 7-year-old house. Ended up, it was negotiated. The seller took care of it, and the buyer was able to buy a house now knowing that the structure was in good shape. And it turned out it had been inspected 2 years prior and had not been noticed at that point. So having someone, again, that knows the business and understands construction is very important.
Fantastic. Viewers, last time, take a look at the bottom of the screen. You're going to see their website. On the website is their contact information. Just a matter of giving them a call or possibly reaching out via email. They can set up an appointment for you. Give you a price range of what it's going to cost. Obviously, we're talking about different types of houses, sizes of houses. They can take care of you there. And keep in mind, this is Peak Home Inspection since 1997. They are certified. They are insured, providing military discounts for folks out there. And for your protection, get an inspection. This is Gary Atensi with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.